I actually made these sound effects myself by loading up white noise in Operator, and then using a variety of effects like reverbs and filters to make an interesting sweep sound. I'll solo that so you can hear it. Sounds like these are a little bit hard to notice when they're not isolated, but they really add a lot to the song and again keep it from getting boring. That's a tip I have for producers regardless of what genre of music they're trying to make, is to always have small layers going on in the background, whether they're effect sweeps or synths which are quiet and are layered underneath the more prominent synth sound. Having multiple layers in your music really gives it that professional sound, and makes the listener want to repeatedly listen to the songs to hear new things. As far as my other effects go, I also have this little impact shot, which I'll solo out right now. This sound effect occurs whenever there's a breakdown in the song. And I actually made this sound by taking a gunshot, adding a lot of reverb to it, and then using EQ8 to filter out all the high end, so we get that nice low thump. It's very important to note that while you can make sound effects yourself like I'm doing, or modify existing sounds to make them more interesting, feel free to also go through some sample packs and find pre-made samples that work as well in your songs. And sometimes this can save from the hassle of trying to make new sound effects. Or if you want, you can use those as a placeholder before you make the sound effects. And the last effect I'm going to go over is this little reverse sweep. This is another sweeping effect I made. This time I took the sample which was originally going down in volume, and I reversed it so it goes up in volume. I also pitched it up to give it that sort of weird stretch sound which I like. And in case you can't notice, I actually have this in the build-up right before the vocal sample, which we'll get to in a minute. Adding these sort of sweeping up effects to your build-ups works really well. It makes you anticipate the drop more because you're adding a lot more intensity to the build-ups, and once again it's adding more layers to the song. I'll discuss more elements of the song in a minute, but let's get back to the arrangement. So after this intro, we have this section. And that goes on until here. And this could be described in more traditional music terms as kind of a verse. So if I was going to compare the construction of this song to the construction of a more typical pop song, I would say this is obviously the intro, and then this little part with just the synths would be considered the verse, and then this could be sort of a breakdown or a bridge, and then this drop would be the chorus. One thing that makes constructing these songs really helpful, and in general can save time when you're making music, is to add locators. To do this in Ableton, you go to a bar of the song and you right click about up here, you click add locator, and there's our locator. We're going to name this one intro because this is the first one, and we'll drag this all the way to the beginning. And by doing this, you can mark each part of the song. This makes it easier to construct your songs, and it also means you can jump through parts of the song and get to parts you want to fix or work on quicker without having to dig for them. So now that we've got the intro, we'll just call this the verse. Move that over. And then this part would be the breakdown / build-up. I'll just call it breakdown. Before I elaborate more on the breakdown, I'd like to discuss this one part of the verse.